Yeah. Okay. So hello dear students. So next let me continue electromagnetic inductions. Okay. So this chapter also I am going to continue board level and also entrance level. Means I am going to cover first. Let me cover the basic things from NCERT, and later I am going to do so many applications which are important for all type of entrances. Okay, like last chapter, like in moving charges magnetism, I started with some basics and covered so many levels which are useful for all type of entrances like JEE and NEET. Now this chapter also let me cover in the same manner. Okay, so anyhow, in the last class, means uh, in the moving charges magnetism, we know some experimental observations like Oersted experiment. I started the chapter with the Oersted experiment. Okay, in the 19th century. Okay, so from Oersted experiment, we know when current is passes through the conductor, around the conductor, magnetic field is produced. Okay, so in previous chapter we learned when current is passes through the conductor, around the conductor magnetic field is produced. Okay, but here we are going to learn the converse of that effect. Okay, quite opposite effect of the previous chapter. Okay, for this also some scientists given some experimental observations. Okay, here they given in a previous chapter, we know scientist names like Oersted, Amperes and Biot Savart, some other. Okay, here the converse effect determined by some other scientists called as Faraday, Henry, and Lynch. So, from their experimental observations, okay, from their experimental observations, whenever magnetic field is changes nearer to the coil, magnetic field changes nearer to the coil, then in that coil some current will be induced. For suppose, see some from Faraday's experimental observations. So let us suppose this is the magnetic field. Okay, so listen introduction. This is the magnetic field, and this is increases or otherwise this is something changing with respect to time. Magnetic field is changing, maybe increase or maybe decrease. So consider some changing magnetic field into the board. If we place any conducting loop, let us suppose this is the conducting loop. So I place a conducting loop in a changing magnetic field. If I place in the loop some lines of forces, see some magnetic lines of forces are entering into the board. Some lines of forces passes through this loop. If magnetic field is increased, more number of lines of forces passes through this loop. If field decrease, less number of lines of forces passes through this loop. For suppose, just imagine, see there is a loop. This is one loop, and see these are the lines of forces. See, here we can count easily. See, only three number of lines of forces passes through this surface. Of course, perpendicular to the surface. Perpendicular. Okay. Here also some lines of forces. So here the number of lines of forces passes perpendicular to the surface. We can call it as flux. I think you covered in electrostatics. In electrostatics, you learned electric flux. What is electric flux? Electric flux is nothing but number of electric lines of forces passes perpendicular through the given surface. Okay, here also the same thing. Here we can define some flux that is called it as magnetic flux. So let me define first magnetic flux. It is also represented by pi. If possible, you can represent with B for magnetic field, like that. See, here the number of lines of forces passing through the, so flux means what? Let me write some basic words. So flux is the number of magnetic lines of forces passing perpendicular through the given surface, through the surface, through the given surface. So flux basically defined as total number of magnetic lines passing perpendicular through the surface. Of course, mathematically also we can define that. Also, I am going to define. See here, number of magnetic lines only 3. Now the flux is 3 because flux is a scalar. So flux is 3. If more number of lines of forces passes, then flux increase. If less number of lines of forces passes through this surface, flux decrease. Here, if B increase, flux increase. If B decrease, flux through this coil decrease. Indirectly, here flux is changing. So magnetic flux is changing. Whenever magnetic flux is changing, then due to that, some current will be induced in this loop, and that current we can call it as induced current. Some current will be set up in this wire. So that current is called as induced current. Of course, that will have some direction. That direction also I will decide in the next sessions in continuation. Okay. So for suppose, let us suppose the direction is like this. Okay. So this we will decide later. First of all, whenever the magnetic flux is changes, so some current is induced. Here, electromagnetic induction means it is the phenomenon of induced current by varying magnetic field. Electromagnetic induction means it is the phenomenon of induced current. Okay, the phenomenon in which the electrical currents are induced. The phenomenon in which the electrical currents are induced. Electrical currents are induced by varying magnetic field or flux. By varying magnetic field called as electromagnetic induction. Okay, let me repeat again. So this is the phenomenon of, okay, the phenomenon in which the electrical currents are induced by varying magnetic field, call it as electromagnetic induction. Okay, and see here less number of lines. If I draw 4, flux is increase. If I draw 2, flux decrease. Okay, and see here area of this one, area of this is also normal to the surface. Area of this coil is normal to the surface. Okay, field also in the same direction. So this product will gives the flux. So flux is the product of magnetic field and area normal to the surface. Okay, first suppose if the coil placed like this, see these are the magnetic lines of forces. I think everything is covered in electrostatics, but once again I am doing now. Okay, let us suppose if the coil is tilted like this. Okay, see this is the field direction, and area is like this. Area is always normal to the surface. Normal to the surface. Let us suppose it makes an angle theta. Here flux means it is the product of field and area. Okay, so field means, see, field normal to the surface. So here resolve the field into some components A, and this is resolve the component. This is B cos theta, and B sin theta is parallel to the plane of the coil, so that is ineffective. Only B cos theta, and this product. So the flux also written as B cos theta into A. B cos theta into A. Otherwise, we can write it as B bar dot A bar. So I hope that everyone remember like electric flux. Electric flux is the dot product of electric field intensity and area vector. Here the magnetic flux means dot product of magnetic field of induction and area vector. Okay, so flux is the dot product. So everyone remember this only. So flux is defined as dot product of magnetic field of induction and area. Okay, so here the flux is B dot A. For suppose, see here the flux is changing. Once the flux changes, some current is induced. So this we will discuss in the continuation. So let me continue the flux only. Here, if the plane of the coil, plane of the coil is perpendicular to the surface, perpendicular to the surface. See, this is the coil. Okay, coil I place like this, and some lines of forces passing like this. See, this is magnetic field and area also in these directions. See the angle between area and B. Angle between these two is 0. See here perpendicular. Okay. So if the plane of the coil, see this is the coil. If the now the lines of forces passing like this, lines of forces passing like this. Here the angle between, see area is in this direction, area is in this direction, and field lines. Magnetic field, area, both are parallel, but field is perpendicular to the plane of the coil. Magnetic field is, field lines are perpendicular to the plane of the coil. Here theta 0, now the flux we can write it as BA cos 0 and BA. So the flux is maximum. Okay, if the plane of the coil is perpendicular to the surface, then flux is maximum. If plane of the coil is parallel to the magnetic field, see this is the coil. Okay, coil, and if the field lines are like this, if field lines are passing in this direction, so now the field lines are passing in this way. See the area, area is upward. If I place the paper like this, area is upward, field lines are in this direction. Angle between these two, 90. See, this is the magnetic field and area. Angle between these two is 90 degrees. So the flux becomes 0. Flux is 0. Okay. So here the flux is 0. And see, let me find flux. Find flux as shown. Find magnetic flux as shown in figure. So they given the diagram like this. See, this is the coil towards you or into the board. Magnetic field something 37 degrees. And area is into the board or out of the board. Now, what is the flux? Okay, tell me the flux. Lines of forces are in this direction. Identify the flux. So here the area is towards you or into the board. Area is towards you or into the board, and lines of forces passes parallel to the plane of the coil. See, this is the plane of the coil, parallel to the plane of the coil. So this diagram is like this only. Area is into the board or out of the board. Field is parallel to the plane of the coil. So angle between B and A is 90 degrees. Don't take as 37 degrees. Okay. Field is applied by 37 degrees with respect to this horizontal. So theta is 90 degrees because area is into the board or towards you. Okay, because the coil is like this and field is applied in this direction. So area is into the board, field is in this direction, angle between area and field is 90 degrees. Then what is the flux here? Flux becomes 0. Flux is 0. Okay. And see, take this. Now let me write one more. These are very basic things. Okay. So once we know these basics, next we can understand the next one easily. Okay. So that's why I'm spending some time for this. Let us suppose Just you identify this. If the coil rotates like this, B is something constant. B is constant. Now the coil rotates in this manner. So there is no change in area. Field is into the board. Area is into the board. There is no change in area. There is a flux. Flux is how much? B, and if A is the area, flux is BA. Okay, flux is there, BA, because A is the area of cross section into the board, field is into the board, that is constant. Now the flux is BA, but there is no change. So if there is no change in flux, there is no current here. Whenever flux changes, there will be an induced current. Okay, there will be an induced current that we are going to discuss in this chapter. Whenever the magnetic flux linked with this coil changes, then only some current will be set up here. Okay, so that current we can call it as induced current, that we are going to discuss in electromagnetic induction. Okay, and see here flux is there, but it's not changing. How much is the flux? Tell me the flux here. BA. A. If R is the radius, B pi r square. If R is the radius, B pi r square. So the flux here is B pi r square if R is the radius. Okay, let me give one more simplest thing for getting some confidence. Find flux as shown in figure. Find flux as shown in figure. Find the flux. Write the flux equation for this. Field is into the board. Area into the board. Angle between field and area 0. Parallel. General questions these are. Okay. Tell me the flux. How much it is? B into A. Then what is A? What is that A? Is it pi r square or A square? Or otherwise pi r square minus A square? Tell me which one. So here A is only area of the magnetic field region. Okay, area of the surface which is in magnetic field. So area of the magnetic field. So area of the magnetic field means how much? B A square, but not B into pi r square. So this is wrong answer. So what is the answer for this? Answer is B A square. A is, what is A? A is area of loop where there is a magnetic field. Where there is a magnetic field. So the magnetic field is exist up to here. So you have to take only area of this loop. Just recall like Gauss law in calculating some solid sphere, hollow sphere. Okay. Here A is the area of the loop in magnetic field. So B A square. Okay. And see, so anyhow we know so far when magnetic flux changes nearer to the coil, then in the coil what is induced? So in the coil some electrical currents are induced. Okay. So let me give some idea about Faraday's experiments. Or before that, I forgot to write. So what is pi? Pi is nothing but B dot A. So tell me the unit of flux. Unit of flux. We know unit of B is Tesla. Area is meter square. So Tesla meter square. Otherwise Weber. So keep in mind Weber. Unit of flux is Weber. So this is SI unit. In CGS system, the unit of flux is Maxwell. Keep in mind. So in CGS system, the unit of flux is Maxwell. Okay, 1 Weber we can write 10 power 8 Maxwell approximately. Okay, 1 Weber is nearly 10 to the power of 8 Maxwell. Okay, and of course we can write the dimensional formula of B and A. You will get pi. And flux is what? It is a, keep in mind, scalar quantity. Okay, it is the count. Okay, number of lines. Flux is a scalar quantity. And see some basic experiments from NCERT, just for understanding point of view. So let me give the idea of Faraday experiments. Faraday's experiment. Next, laws will come. Okay. So like Oersted, Faraday also performs some experiments. So let us see some basic experiments. See, let me start with one basic thing, coil and magnet experiment. Coil with magnet. Okay. So let us consider a coil. See, this is the coil. And this is connected to the some galvanometer having some pointer. Okay, coil having some number of turns. And here, if any bar magnet which is moves towards the coil, okay, if any bar magnet moves towards the coil, then here lines of force in the coil will be changes. That number of lines of forces passing perpendicular to the surface gives magnetic flux. Once it moves very closer, maximum number of lines of forces passes through this coil. So once it is closer, maximum number of lines of forces passes through the coil. See, once it is closer, maximum lines of forces passes through the coil. That means flux is increasing in the coil. So whenever the flux changes in a coil, then this galvanometer shows deflection. So this galvanometer shows deflection because of what? Change in magnetic flux. Nothing but changing lines of forces. So he identified the deflections in the galvanometer. So it shows deflection means some current is induced in the coil. Okay, some current is set up in the coil. Okay, the direction we will decide. Some current will be set up. That current called as induced current. So if the magnet moves towards the coil, then some currents are induced in the coil. In the same manner, if this magnet moves away from the coil, again the galvanometer shows opposite deflection, because once it moves away, lines of forces decreases. Magnetic lines of forces decreases. As lines of forces decreases, current will be in opposite, of course decreases. But induced currents are set up in opposite direction. For suppose, if the magnet is at rest, okay, if the magnet is at rest, if this coil moves towards the magnet or away from the magnet, again he observed the deflections in the galvanometer. Again he observed the deflections in the galvanometer means, that means there will be an induced current in the loop. Okay, so due to change in magnetic flux, some currents are induced. Okay, so this is the origin for this chapter. Okay, whenever the magnetic flux changes nearer to the coil, then in the coil, induced currents will flow. Okay, that can be identified by galvanometer or some other. Okay, so here induced currents are set up. And see, if both these are at rest, then he didn't identify anything, any deflections in the galvanometer. Okay, so when both are at rest, then there are no deflections. So these deflections are possible whenever there is a relative motion between a magnet and a coil. If relative motion means whenever there is a relative motion between coil and a magnet, then he observed some deflections in galvanometer. That means induced currents are set up when there is a relative motion between these two. Okay, if both are at rest, then galvanometer does not show any deflections. Okay, so this is Faraday's experimental experiment. Okay, and some observations. In the same manner, he performed one more experiment that is called as coil experiment. So these are the basic things from NCERT. Okay, go through the NCERT, you will understand everything. Okay, just I am giving some outline idea. Here, coil experiment. Consider a coil having some number of turns. Let us suppose C1 is the coil which is connected to the galvanometer, and another coil. Consider another coil having some turns which is connected to the some battery. If current flows in this coil, let us suppose this is C2 coil, feel that this is primary coil, this is another coil, secondary coil. Okay, the names. Here if current will flows through this coil, then once current flows through the coil, once current flows through the conductor, around the conductor magnetic field is produced. Here once the current flows through this coil, and there will be a magnetic field around this. If this moves, means indirectly this is behaves like a magnet having some north and south pole. Okay, that directions everything we are going to decide by using some other law. Here once it moves towards the coil or away from the coil, same, he observes the same deflections in the galvanometer. Okay, so if it is moves towards or away from the coil, then again galvanometer shows the deflections. That means some induced currents are set up in this. Right now I am giving general directions, so don't worry about these directions, that I am going to confirm everything. So here I am giving outline directions right now. Okay, here there will be an induced current because of this. Okay, and here also there is a relative motion between these two. If it is at rest, if it moves towards or away, again the same thing will be happen. Okay, but Faraday also observed that relative motion is not requirement, is not an absolute requirement. For suppose he also performed this like this also. See, this is the coil having some galvanometer arrangement. Okay, and one more coil connected to the battery with some key. See, here both are at rest. Both are at rest. But once this key is pressed, okay, once the key is pressed, then suddenly the means he observed some sudden deflections in the galvanometer. See, there is no relative motion between these two. But here also some deflections are possible in galvanometer, because when once the key is pressed, so there will be a momentary deflections in the galvanometer. Means at that time some induced currents are set up in this coil. Okay, so these are some experimental observations. From these, let us study the laws of electromagnetic induction, means Faraday laws of electromagnetic inductions. Okay, take this. So these are completely introduction. So let me start the laws of electromagnetic induction. Of course, Faraday laws. So write the heading. Faraday laws of electromagnetic induction. So there are two laws. Keep in mind. Faraday's first law. So according to Faraday's first law, whenever magnetic flux linked with the coil changes, so whenever magnetic flux linked with the coil or circuit changes, whenever the magnetic flux linked with the coil or circuit changes, then induced EMF, induced EMF or induced current, induced EMF or induced currents are set up. Okay, induced EMF or induced currents are set up. Okay, so keep in mind, whenever the magnetic flux linked with the coil changes, then induced currents are set up in the same coil. Okay, and see the second law. So according to Faraday's second law, EMF in a coil. So EMF in a coil, or the magnitude of EMF or the EMF in a coil, which is always equals to the negative rate of change of magnetic flux linked with the coil. So induced EMF, which is equivalent to negative rate of change of magnetic flux, negative rate of change of magnetic flux linked with the coil. Otherwise we can write average induced EMF, we can write it as delta pi by delta t. Okay, if we take magnitude, that minus will go on. Okay, here this negative sign shows EMF is always opposes the change in magnetic flux, or flux EMF always opposite. Okay, and Faraday law generally gives the magnitude of induced current, magnitude of induced current. Okay, of course we are going to get induced charge, induced current. Okay, so Faraday law determines magnitude of induced current. Okay, to get the directions we are going to use another law that we can call it as Lenz's law. So this will come in the next, Lenz's law. This will explains the negative sign meaning. Okay, so that shows directions, direction of induced current we are going to determine by using another law, call it as Lenz's law. So Lenz's law will help in understanding the direction of induced current. Okay, this will help in understanding the direction of induced current and polarity of EMF. Okay, so that also I am going to discuss. Here EMF is minus d pi by dt. For suppose if the coil have n turns, for n number of turns, if the coil have n turns, we can write n d pi by dt, delta pi by delta t. So delta pi means that is average. So n d pi by dt. And in a problem, if some R is the resistance of the coil, if they given R is the resistance of a coil, so use some, I am going to extend some formulas, basic formulas only. These formulas will help in solving problems from NCERT. Okay, basics only, very basics. Okay, in the next class some good level of questions will come. Here if they given R is the resistance of the coil, okay, loop, wire, then we can write this one is IR, EMF is IR, N d pi by dt. So we can write I is equals to N by R d pi by dt. So this I we can call it as induced current. What is I? I is the induced current. So if they given number of turns and magnetic flux resistance, if they given, we can find the induced current. Don't worry, I will give you one simplest examples. Okay. Take this. See, by using this, just you take this dt left side, so we can write I dt, which is equals to n by r d pi. I dt is nothing but charge, and dq, so n by r d pi. So if you apply the integrations, this can be written as q is equals to n by r pi. So this is called induced charge. Induced charge. See, let me extend one more. Anyhow, we know, so maintain these formulas as some note point formulas. Formulas will help in solving some basic level of questions. Okay. Anyhow, we know EMF is minus n d pi by dt. Okay. Otherwise, delta pi by delta t. Let me write average. So, delta pi by delta t is somewhat better. Average induced EMF. See, in a problem, anyhow, delta pi is nothing but BA cos theta. So, sorry, pi is nothing but BA cos theta. So, average induced EMF BA cos theta. For suppose in a problem, if the plane of the coil changes through an angle theta 1 to something theta 2 with respect to the normal. Okay, initially theta 1 is the angle made by the plane of the coil with respect to the normal, means with the surface, normal to the surface. And later on it is changes to some theta 2. So the initial flux is pi 1, we can write it as BA cos theta 1. Final flux BA cos theta 2. Now the change in flux BA cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1. So average induced EMF we can write it as minus n, BA anyhow constant you write outside, so BA cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1 by time interval t2 minus t1. Okay, initial time is t1, later on it is t2, after is t2. So minus nba cos theta 2 minus cos theta 1 by t2 minus t1. Okay, so based on given problem you can use the formulas. Okay, so initially the coil makes something theta 1 is 0 degrees. Later on it is rotated to some 180 degrees. Then find the average EMF. Average EMF is NBA by something time T2 minus T1, and this is 1 minus 1, 2. Okay, so cos 180 and minus, so minus 1 this is plus. Okay, so average EMF is 2NBA by some time interval. Okay, so T2 minus T1. Use these formulas. Okay, here sometimes they may rotate the coil from 30 degrees to 60 degrees, 60 degrees to some 90, 180, whatever may be. Okay, and in the same manner, use these formulas. Okay, to solve some easy level of questions. Let me extend this formula again. Small thing, basics only. See, in some cases, okay, they will give the magnetic field. Okay, magnetic field, some value they will give, some 2 Tesla, 3 Tesla, normal to the surface. Okay, they will give magnetic field. Okay, so let us suppose this is the magnetic field, and they place the coil like this. Due to this magnetic field, maybe 2 Tesla, 3 Tesla, whatever may be the value. Okay, due to this magnetic field, the radius of this coil reduces, some shrinks. Okay, let me add one simple problem. Okay. See, the magnetic field normal to the plane of the coil, normal to the plane of the coil is something 2 Tesla. Okay. Due to this, the radius of the coil, shrinks, shrinks to something 0.1 millimeter per second. Something radius is changes 0.1 millimeter per second. Then find EMF. Same question, simple question. See, we have to find EMF. EMF is N d pi by dt. Find average induced EMF. Okay, just I am giving outline numbers. Okay, you try to understand the concept, means how I am extending the formula, that you try to understand it. Okay, E is equals to N, nothing is given, so N is one term, d by dt of, okay, d by dt of, this can be written as pi is dA. Okay, anyhow B is constant, so B d by dt of, okay, d by dt of A. So EMF is minus B d by dt of some pi r square. So we can write EMF is minus B, pi you write outside, d by dt of r square. So we can write EMF is after derivative 2b pi dr by dt. Anyhow, they given b as something 2, pi is 3.14, dr by dt. So dr by dt they given 0.1 millimeter, 0.1 millimeter per second. So you will get EMF. So the unit of EMF is volt. Okay, like voltage. Okay, unit of EMF is volt. So here they given radius. If the radius changes, see how I am extending area. Area changes. If theta changes, just now I written the formula. Sometimes initial magnetic field, final magnetic field, if they given, you write area outside dB by dt or B2 minus B1 by T2 minus T1. So based on given problem, you change the formula. Okay. So one more problem let me give, simple problem based on EMF charge. Next I will start Lenz law, most important for all type of entrances. Okay, so before that let me give one problem. See, in a coil, magnetic flux varies with some pi is equals to 4t square minus t. Magnetic flux is varies with 4t square minus t. Then find induced EMF at t is equal to something 1 second. Direct question. So we know what is EMF, minus d pi by dt. N d pi by dt, n is not given means one term. So apply differentiation, direct answers you will get. So EMF is equals to d by dt of, so 4t square t, 8t minus 1 at t is equal to 1 second, so minus 7 volt. Simple questions. Okay. Next. So write one more simple problem. In a coil, magnetic field varies with B is equal to something B naught T square as shown. Then find EMF and current, induced EMF and induced current. B is varies with respect to B naught, some B naught T square. So they given the coil like this. So the given like this. This is R and this is R ohm. So they given this diagram. Capital R is the resistance, I is the induced current, B naught T square, they given the B value. Magnetic field is varies. So the magnetic field is increasing because B naught T square plus B naught T square. That means magnetic field is increasing. Okay. So target is EMF. E is equals to N. N is a 1. So d pi by dt. So you try this one pi. What is pi? B A. So d by dt of anyhow area constant, you write outside dB. What is B? B naught T square. B is B naught T square. So EMF is equals to minus A to B naught T square. Okay, what is A? A is nothing but pi R square. So 2 B naught T square pi R square is the EMF. Okay, pi small r square because R is what? Radius. And they are asking induced current. So induced current nothing but, so E is equals to IR, I is equals to E by R. So I is equals to minus 2 B naught T square pi R square by R. Okay. In the same manner, you try for induced charge. Okay. See, whenever the magnet will means magnetic flux is changes nearer to the coil, in that coil, induced currents are set up, EMF will be there, induced charge also there. Okay. For suppose one time they asked one question. See, some just keep in mind. See, there is a coil. Okay. One of the basic level of question, coil and magnet. First they move slowly, next they move quickly. Then let us identify the difference. If they move slowly, no doubt some charge will be there here, induced charge. So if they move slowly, so keep this one in mind. If they move slowly, induced charge will be flows. If they move quickly, same charge will flows. Charges are same. Same amount of charge will flow when they move slowly or when magnet moves fast. Keep in mind, charge will remain same. Same amount of charge will flows in the coil. Once if they move slowly, induced current here little bit less, EMF less, but here induced current is more, EMF is more. See the difference. Charge remains the same in both cases, but whenever they move quickly, induced currents, induced EMFs are more in this situation. Here, induced currents, induced EMF are less. Keep in mind. Okay. And see. Yeah, see the outline view. See, up to now, let me recall what I covered. See, up to now, just I covered only Faraday's laws. Faraday first law, Faraday second law. Okay, and of course, I covered magnetic flux. Anyhow, you know electric flux in electrostatics, but here I defined magnetic flux. Okay, magnetic flux is nothing but number of magnetic lines passes perpendicular to the surface. Okay, it is the count. Okay, flux is nothing but number of lines of forces. Okay, and later I covered Faraday's experiments. Okay, that is basic idea. And from experimental observations, whenever the magnetic flux linked with the coil changes, EMF will be set up in the coil. Induced currents are flows in the coil. Okay, if the coil is completely closed, induced currents will flow. For suppose, uh, so this is also one of the question. This is not a coil, just small thin rod placed here, but B changing. Tell me here what happened. If it is a closed coil, so some general questions only. If it is a closed coil, induced current is there here, EMF will be there. Then what about here? This is not a closed, this is some thin wire. Here what will be there? Only EMF will set up. Okay, there is no flow of induced current. There is no flow of induced current, only EMF. Means one side you can put battery positive, other side you can put battery negative. That also I will decide by using Fleming's right hand rule. Okay, I am going to give the directions also. Here, if it is a closed loop, induced currents will flow, EMF will set up. If it is an open loop, only EMF will be there in the wire. Starting potential difference, ending potential difference. The difference between those will gives the EMF. Okay, initial potential, final potential. The difference between them will gives EMF in a thin wire, in this rod, in a wire. Okay, so keep these things as some fundamentals. Okay, and some problems. In some problems, see, you try one more. So write down one more last question. The magnetic flux, the magnetic flux in a closed circuit, in a closed circuit of resistance something 50 ohm varies with pi is equals to something 70 square minus 40. Then find magnitude of induced current at 0.25 seconds. You try this. Induced current, again like a previous problem only. Flux is given, time is mentioned at 0.25 seconds. Okay, you try this. And one more thing, one more small question. Yeah, tell me the flux here. R is the radius. Tell me the flux and identify the flux here. Yeah, try the flux. Flux nothing but BA. What is A? Area of the loop where there is a magnetic field. So how much is the flux here? Flux B A. A. How much the A? Pi r square by 2. Here only this space is occupied. Only this space. This space only the magnetic field is there. So B A pi r square by 2 by 2. So how much it is? Pi r square by 4. Okay.